Mr. Mr. President, St. Kitts and Nevis aligns itself with the statements that have been delivered by Grenada on behalf of the Caribbean community, CARICOM, by Honduras on behalf of CELAC, by Uganda on behalf of NAM, and by Iraq on behalf of the Group of 77 and China. We welcome the presence of the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Cuba, His Excellency Bruno Rodriguez Parilla, and his delegation. Mr. President, we have gathered in these halls of the General Assembly annually for over 3 decades to adopt with overwhelming majority the resolution titled Necessity of Ending the Economic, Commercial, and Financial Embargo imposed by the United States of America against Cuba. Because we are all acutely aware that this unilateral embargo contradicts the purposes and principles of the United Nations Charter, and it violates international law. This outdated embargo that continues to be imposed against Cuba by the government of the United States of America for more than 6 decades, regrettably, remains the biggest impediment to Cuba's normal economic growth and development and modernization. It further continues to impair the country's valiant efforts of achieving the Sustainable Development Goals, whilst exacerbating the effects of global challenges on the Cuban nation. My delegation therefore thanks the Secretary General for his usual comprehensive reports on this deeply troubling matter, which continues to shed light on the gravity of the impact of this unjust embargo on the lives and livelihoods of the Cuban people. As observed in the report by the Secretary General from March 2022 to February of 2023, Cuba suffered economic damages valued at approximately $5 billion, which represents an impact equivalent of 19.2% of its gross domestic product for the year of 2022, and 55.8% of total exports for the same year. This considerable financial decline is aggravating the already complex economic situation in this Caribbean country. Mr. President, given this context, St. Kitts and Nevis joins the international community in reiterating unreservedly its urgent call for the lifting of this unfair embargo against our fellow Caribbean island nation of Cuba. St. Kitts and Nevis also calls for the removal of Cuba from the State Department's list of sponsors of terrorism. St. Kitts makes these calls, St. Kitts and Nevis makes these calls to enable Cuba to effectively pursue its economic aspirations and to achieve socio-economic prosperity. As posited by our esteemed Prime Minister, who is a Cuban-trained doctor, the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew, in his UN General Assembly address last month, this embargo has isolated Cuba for decades. It's illegal, and it continues to be a stain on our collective consciences. Instead of denigrating this island, we should elevate and learn from its sustainable solutions that have empowered their people and, in turn, the region. Mr. President, despite the many hardships experienced by Cuba as a consequence of the embargo, Cuba has remained a steadfast ally of St. Kitts and Nevis, supporting our human capacity development agenda through the provision of annual university scholarships for our nationals. And I would have noted that the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis is a Cuban-trained medical physician. especially the assistance provided in the areas of medicine. The assistance from Cuba has assisted St. Kitts and Nevis in buttressing the healthcare services of our country through its continued deployment of highly qualified and committed medical brigade specialists. We acknowledge with immense gratitude our enduring bonds of friendship and cooperation with the Cuban nation. In conclusion, Mr. President, St. Kitts and Nevis therefore calls for renewed dialogue between Washington and Havana to chart a new path for improved relations, to promptly bring an end to this embargo, which continues to have widespread repercussions on the economy of Cuba and the lives of millions who call Cuba home. St. Kitts and Nevis reaffirms its unwavering solidarity with Cuba on this matter and strongly condemns the continued imposition of this embargo. St. Kitts and Nevis will vote in favor of this resolution and will continue to do so until the day this embargo is repealed. I thank you.